here on location at Sony Center in Toronto, and this is the press conference for the merchants of Bollywood, and this is being organized in Toronto from November 4th to November 14th. This will be available on South Asian Web TV, TorontoTv, and Bollywood channel also. Please wait for the interview with Mr. Pradeep Sood, who is the organizer of this particular festival. Thank you. Welcome to the South Asian Web TV program. Thank you. Location at Sony Center. Thank you. For the merchants of Bollywood program. And this is a great festival. I've read about it. What would you like to tell the viewers?
Well, it's you cannot miss the show. These opportunities don't come very often. To have a crew of 40 people perform your favorite music and favorite dance coming directly from Mumbai makes a lot of difference, and it's very rare to see so many artists at the same time giving you such high energy entertainment. So it's a show I would like to tell the people not to miss, and there are 11 shows from the 4th to the 14th. So I'm sure sometime will soon come and they should try and become that.
How did you get involved in this particular show?
Well, I'm on the advisory council of the Sony Center. So since this was a South Asian show or Indo-Canadian show, they asked me if I could help them in connecting with the right people like yourself. And so I took it on from that point.
So how long it took you to work on the Indian show?
No, as far as the show is concerned, it's been done by a producer out of Australia, and it's been choreographed by people in India and all that. I have nothing to do with the show per se.
So the organizing of the show?
Well, it was directly done with Sony Center. My aspect is only in terms of getting it to the people, letting them know that the show is here and that what is the show all about.
So can you tell us something about the show itself?
Well, there's a storyline in the show which is depicted in the form of music and dance. There is some speaking pieces also, but particularly there's a lot of music, and it's a musical in a way. Very Bollywood oriented, lots of exotic dresses and jewelry and things like that, and you actually see these people who have performed in a lot of probably movies and theatre in Bollywood, so they all are here.
How does it compare with Bollywood Dreams that was?
Well, Bollywood Dreams, I saw Bollywood Dreams. I think this is a much more high energy show. It's more like today, it's not a great music. Bollywood Dreams was more like a story, very storyline aspect, but this is more like entertainment, a lot of fun, a lot of, you can sing along with the song, a lot of things people will kind of relate to.
And who are the people behind the show?
Bollywood, there are the two guys, Salman and Salman Merchant. I think you know their Salim and Sulaiman Merchant. They are the people who have put this together. And they are the people who have done the music for film Naach and Dhoom. So they are very well known in Bollywood.
It's already released.
It's been there for a few years. It's been taking the whole going around the world. It's now coming.
Good luck to you. All the best. And
thank you so much.
Thank you for get a chance to watch the show.
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. How are you? You missed me dance. I was going to dance in, but the music stopped, so unfortunately, you just have me here. My name is Dan Brambilla. I'm the CEO of the Sony Center. I want to welcome you here. Before I start, I'd like to know how many of you have been to this building before. Can you just show me your hands? Okay, some have, some haven't. Interesting. Oh, yeah, the O'Keefe. Remember that? You have a good memory. You have a memory. The O'Keefe. And then, yes, and then Hummingbird, and now Sony. The reason I ask is because this building has been here 50 years. We just had our 50th anniversary 2 weeks ago, and part of what we did was restored the building. For those of you that have never been here, you don't really appreciate what was done because you've never seen it. For those of you that have been here, you can see some of the beautiful things that we did, including showing beautiful brass that we have and so on, and the beautiful marble in the building. This is a historic building. It was deemed such by the city a couple of years ago, and we are taking very, very good care of it as part of what I think is a huge city asset. But we're also making it a city asset for more than reason that it's beautiful bricks and mortar. We're here to talk today about this wonderful production that we're bringing into town directly from Mumbai. And the reason that we're doing this is very profound, and it goes to the heart of what we're doing as a business here in the city. Some of you may know that we've been, the person that knew about the O'Keefe Center, that we've been the house for the opera and ballet for many, many years. And of course, when they built the opera house, the opera moved and the ballet moved to the opera house. And we were trying to figure out what we should do to compensate for the loss of 2 anchor tenants, which was a huge loss for us. So we started in 2006 to figure out what our brand would be. And we took a look around at the city, this wonderful city of Toronto, 232 cultures. And as an aside, I'm from New York City. I've been here 18 years now. I thought New York was multicultural until I came here. This city is crazy multicultural. This is an experiment. This is an unbelievable city. And we looked around and we saw that nobody is really programming to all of our ethnic groups in the city. Everybody is doing Broadway as if it was a culture. But it's not. What our culture is everyone in the city and every person who comes from a culturally diverse part of the world that has chosen to make Toronto their home. That's our citizenry. We are a city of minorities. There's no place like this in the world. And remarkably, we looked at each other and said, but nobody is really programming to this diverse citizenry of Toronto. And why is that? And we couldn't figure out why, but we knew that we had a potential opportunity here on our hands. So the first thing we did, and it's interesting that we're doing it now again, is the first thing we did is we produced a production of Bombay Dreams. Some of you may remember that we did that. And you remember. Thank you.
There.
You were there. Excellent. Wasn't it great?
It was fantastic.
It was fantastic. And we had, for Bombay Dreams, it was our first shot at doing this, and we decided we had every major South Asian citizen in this building for that production. It was so fantastic. We served food, and it was so great that even the premier wanted to come to get a photo opportunity. You remember that? He called me up. He said, "Can I come?" And we said, "Sure," because he understands that the South Asian community is incredibly important to this city. You're 12% now. You're going to be 25% in no time. So you have to be catered to. You have to be welcomed to this city in many ways, and that's what we're doing. So we started with Bombay Dreams, and the uptake on that was clearly very important. People loved it, and then we did other cultural shows after that. We did an Iranian rock concert with women dressed in hijabs, playing electric guitars on stage and singing in Farsi. The place was packed. We did a soca singer who was very famous throughout the world, but not here, and the place was packed with Trinidadians and Guyans. And we again looked at each other and said, okay, yeah, this is it. This is the brand. This works. And what was very interesting is in each of those circumstances, the people that were promoting the show came up to us afterwards and said, thank you for opening your doors to our culture in your iconic building, because by doing so, you're validating our culture in the city of Toronto. And that was huge. I mean, that's really, so we're not just putting on a show, we're actually doing something socially responsible. So, as part of the renovation, it's not just bricks and mortar that we renovated, but it's the whole image of the building that we started a few years ago. And we're telling the world, starting with this production really, to say, this is your theater, this is the theater of the people. Not just the Broadway people, but everybody in the city. So we want you to embrace what we're doing, we want you to feel welcome here. And we want you to come and see all our productions. My director of programming, Mark Hammond, who I'm going to bring up in a second, is going to talk to you more about the show, because I just tell Mark, go out and find me these things, and he's responsible for doing it and finding the things. But I think it's going to be a very important 2 weeks here in the city with this production. Now again, Bombay Dreams, when we had Bombay Dreams, it was a great show, and we had an authentic composer. But it was not, I wouldn't call it an authentic show. It was an American production, a touring production. This production is from Mumbai. It has Mumbai actors from the film industry in it. So what you're going to see is a show with incredible 40 people, 2,800 costumes, $1 million worth of jewelry on stage. It's absolutely a remarkable piece, and it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and it's only here for 10 performances, so you can't sit around waiting for 3 months to go. You have to go when it's here. One other thing I want to do too, I do want to come back to the building for a second and talk about what we're doing, because it goes hand in hand with the cultural experience that we're trying to bring to the city. Not only are we putting on culturally diverse shows, and I recommend that you look at our website to see the kinds of things that we're doing. I mean, just this week, we had a production of The Red Chamber, a wonderful Chinese production that was here from China. Last night we did Stars of the 21st Century, a potpourri of ballet dancers from all around the world that came to dance here last night. Tomorrow night we have Bob Dylan of Iran singing on our stage. I mean, Bob Dylan of Iran, think about that. And so it's unbelievable. And we have Japanese shows coming, we have Polish dance companies, it's just an incredible number of shows for as many of the different cultural groups in the city as possible. So not only is that an exciting part of what we're doing, but we decided to really kick it up a notch and do something more. We have a wonderful chef that has joined us to be our resident chef, Stephen Lee, who was a chef at Vancouver Olympic Village. And Stephen is tasked to prepare for us ethnically inspired food for each show that we do. So when we put on this show, the South Asian show, you're able to come to the building at 6 o'clock, and over there, at that food stand over there, you'll be able to come for dinner and have South Asian food, South Asian inspired food. And the price points are incredibly reasonable. You can actually have dinner and a drink for under $20, tax included, tax and service included. So I think we're the best deal in town, and you don't have to worry about running to a restaurant and coming back to the theater and being here on time. You just come here at 6 o'clock and then just sit down and relax in the lounges upstairs, or downstairs we have tables. This is a real fun place to come to. And every show that we do that's culturally diverse, we will pair the food to that show. No theater in the world, just so you know, in case you want to be a proud Torontonian for a minute, no theater in the world does this. Nobody does this. We're the only one in the world. So I think it's something to be very proud of. The other thing to be proud of is our relationship with Sony, obviously an international company in the entertainment industry. Behind me, you'll see another thing to be proud of. North America's largest video wall, 21 screens, and this is driven by sophisticated Sony software. And throughout the entire building, we have 89 monitors throughout the building providing information to our patrons. By the way, you come at 6 o'clock to eat, but you can also come at 4 o'clock. Right above me is the balcony bar. So at 4 o'clock, the bar opens, and you can have terrific drinks and bar food as well. So the building opens. You don't need a ticket to come in. Anybody can come in. You don't need a ticket for the show. Just come inside, come to the bar, come eat, come to the show, whatever you want. We also have an art gallery here throughout the building. We have such an incredible number of square footage of walls that we decided that we were going to turn it into an art gallery. And if you take a walk around, you can see that what we're doing for the first exhibit is York Wilson, who painted this wonderful, famous mural behind you, the Seven Lively Arts. It's 100 feet long, 15 feet high, Canada's biggest mural. We're doing a retrospective of his work, the first time it's been done. That'll be hanging from now until the springtime. And some of the works will be for sale. So again, when you come to this building, we also have the Sony store on the corner there. You can come and see the new Sony products. So this building is not just a building where we put on shows. It's a building where the lobby is an entertainment venue in and of itself, as well as the inside theater. And not only are we an entertainment venue, a destination location, but we are the most culturally diverse theater in the world, providing the most culturally diverse programming to the most culturally diverse city. So I welcome you. I want to introduce you now to Mark Hammond, our programmer, who is responsible for bringing the show here. Thank you.
Thanks, Sam. You know, I was just thinking, do you have any idea how weird it is to have a white man talking about Bollywood to brown people? It's really weird. So anyway, only in Toronto, that's right. So this show, as Dan mentioned, I found it on the net because I was trolling for another Bollywood show after we did Bombay Dreams, which indeed really was musical theatre and not true Bollywood transferred to the stage. as this show is. It took me the longest time for the producer to answer me, but finally I got an email from Bombay, and we started the correspondence. I went to see the show in Berlin, in a velodrome with 5,000 people. They were pretty much, I would say, exclusively German people. There were hardly any South Asians in the audience. And I thought, this is really going to be fun. If we can bring this to Toronto and mix up our audience, it'll be just great. So we carried on talking, and by the time we'd actually come to terms with the show, we actually were the first people to agree to bring it to North America. They had played to over 2 million people around the world, and they still have yet to perform in India, which I think is pretty amazing. And they spawned a whole bunch of other shows. There's another one called Bharati, which is even bigger than this one. And with this one, as Dan mentioned, thousands of costumes. It has most of the famous tunes, as far as one can do that. Bharati apparently is another one that's coming, which I hope we will be able to bring to you the year after this one. And there are more in the works. So obviously this Bollywood transferring to stage is a new trend, and we like to be at the front of it. We're happy to be at the front of it. Without us bringing it in and bringing it here, it wouldn't have toured in North America at all. And what can I say? The only important thing is it is only 10 shows. So please don't miss it. Please catch it. Because so many times when we bring these shows in, I meet people after it's gone and they say, you know, I really wanted to come and see that show. And they didn't. So make sure you do come. Thank you. And let me introduce you to the people.
Thank you, Mark. First, I'd like to really thank you all for being here. It's very important. While Dan, with his leadership, has taken the challenge of bringing the show to Toronto, he is really, in a way, representing a lot of us who have come from India and outside, with a show which resonates what we are all about. So I really want to thank you guys for being here. It's very important that this show is successful, because this will then bring other things. I mean, on the movie side, we're already doing a lot of multicultural aspect from India to here, and now through theatre, if you are able to do that, we'll move forward. And there are so many great shows and events which take place in India which we'd like Dan to bring to Toronto, for not just us, but for all Canadians who love Bollywood music, who love India, and would like to know much more about India, the food, habits, and culture. So thank you very, very much for being here. That's very important. I'd like to thank Dan for his leadership, because it's, you're always worried how successful a show will be when you bring it, because you have a lot on the line. And if a show is not successful, it's all your problem. So I think we owe it to you to thank you on behalf of the community also for taking this challenge, and I'm sure the show will be very successful. I'm going to request you all, if you can, please promote this show, because this is one of those shows which brings all the top music from Bollywood. It has got 40 actors, like everybody told you just now. But what is very important is there's a storyline to the show. It's not just dance and music. There's a storyline to the show. There's a bit of talking also in the show, which is to complete the storyline and to convey something to the audience. Otherwise, in the music, there's only action, and you need to understand what's happening behind the scene. So that's very well done in this particular show. It's been to so many cities around the world. We are the first in North America to have it. I think from here they go to the US, if I'm not mistaken. But it's starting here, which again shows that Toronto has been picked as the city for multicultural or Mumbai shows like this. As you know, IFA is coming next year. Again, IFA, Toronto is the first city in all of North America who's getting IFA. So it just shows how important it is and how everybody considers us to be important to this multicultural aspect of the city. So please do whatever best you can to promote this show. Any help you need, anything you require, let us know. I'd be just too glad to support you in any which way that we possibly can. My last request is that with Dan's generosity and kindness, I have managed to get a special discount for everybody who books tickets under the code GOLD. We are basically, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to show Dan that the South Asian community also participates in this show. It's not just the mainstream. So I would like you to help me promote the code GOLD. So every time they book tickets, they say promote that they're booking under code GOLD. They'll get an additional discount, and that will help us to track some numbers. So I really appreciate if you can help me with that, whichever way you can. But thank you once again, and being the last speaker between lunch and now, I'd like to invite you all to lunch.
Camera, wait, no, see your back. Yeah, just start.
Anybody want me to dance?
Bollywood friend, if you can. Bollywood was there. He was supposed to come with that, but
Yeah, just don't speak with your mouth. My mother said that. Oh no, I have more. I can have my
I'm just on that advisor. My advisor is the South Asian market because I do a lot of community work and I want this to be successful so that they come to South Asian, right? What do we shoot at? I can do that.
Speaking to Mr. Daniel Rambila, he's the CEO at Sony Performing Arts, Sony Center Performing Arts to be exact.
Right.
And can you please tell us how did you arrange for the show, or how did you decide to get this in Toronto?
Right. Well, first of all, Toronto is the most diverse city in the world. So our programming is based on trying to go around the world to try to find as many different programs from as many different cultures to bring them here to Toronto to serve the citizens of Toronto. They come from all over the world. So for us, the South Asian population is extremely important. You're now 12% of the Toronto population. You're going to be 25% of the population soon. So you are on the top of our list of cultures to want to try to cater to and to bring entertainment to. And therefore my programmer, Mark Hammond, was tasked to go around the world. I wish I had his job, I stay here. But he goes around the world to try to find these productions. And this one was well known because it's one of the biggest Bollywood productions ever. A few years ago, back in 2006, we did a Bollywood production, but it was tiny compared to this one. This is Bombay Dreams, that's right. This is truly authentic with actors from Mumbai, from the film industry, in fact, and fantastic, authentic South Asian music. And the costumes, 2,800 costumes, which are absolutely amazing, and $1 million worth of jewelry. So this one is as real as it gets, and we were very happy to follow Bombay Dreams in 2006 with this production. And now we hope to bring many more. But this one will be here for 10 performances only, and it's a very, very lavish, very expensive show. This is a one-time opportunity to see it. Having said that, even though it's expensive and we're taking a big risk bringing it here, we are pricing the tickets very reasonably. The tickets are priced only from $25 to $84, the top ticket. So it's a show that everyone can come see. And the other thing I want to add, it's not just for the South Asian population. In fact, most of the shows that we do, we try to promote cross-cultural understanding in the city. So we are not just advertising to the South Asian community, we're advertising to the entire community, the entire GTA, all cultures, because the more people from other cultures that can come see this production, the more they understand the beauty that exists in the South Asian Bollywood musical and so on, and they understand more about India and so on. And that's really the goal, promoting cross-cultural understanding. And so we're doing it through the form of entertainment, but nonetheless it's a very important goal for us to achieve.
So how long you have been the Sony Center?
I've been here 8 years.
I see.
Yes, and I've been involved in making sure that the building was renovated, beautifully renovated, and now reopened, and pushing our brand out to the public and making sure that we do as many different diverse programs as we possibly can for everyone in the city.
So this is your second South Asian?
It's the second South Asian show, but we've done other South Asian. We have South Asian singers. In fact, we have a South Asian singer at the end of the month, I think, coming in as well. So it's not just big musicals that we do. We also do other South Asian things as well. Yeah, musicians and so on.
Have you personally seen any show?
I've seen Bombay Dreams, yes. This one I have not seen because my programmer went to see it and I trust him. I have to stay here and keep the business running while he goes out around the world.
So what is your understanding of Bombay Dreams?
Well, I mean, Bombay Dreams was wonderful, but it was more of an American production, you know. But it was a great way to launch the business that we have here. But what's exciting about this production is it's very different. It's authentic, and there's nothing like it. And it's touring around the world, so this will be your only chance to see it here. Yeah, and even when it goes to the United States, it's going to tour in a smaller production. So this is the biggest production that's on tour with all 40 actors in the show. So this is the one that you want to see for sure.
Wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
I hope
happy to be here.
Sony Center will be involved in many more.
No, we will be. Thank you.
All the best.
Thanks very much. Bye-bye.
We're talking to Mark, who is the programming director, Mr. Mark Hammond. Welcome to the show. And I understand from the written speech that you gave at the press conference that you are the one who organized and brought this to Toronto. Can you tell us a little more about it?
Yeah, well, I've been looking for one of these shows after our success with Bombay Dreams. But Bombay Dreams for us was not the real authentic thing.
Was it not a marketing success?
It was a huge marketing success. It went very, very well for us, and it went better for us here in Toronto than it did in New York, which was very interesting. But it was a Western story with a South Asian composer, and you know the cast were mostly North American, South Asian people. And I thought this would be great if I could find a show which is actually from Mumbai with real Bollywood actors and singers and dancers. And so I did find this one eventually on the internet, and then tracked it down from there, and indeed found that it is all Mumbai film people who are just taking time out and doing a stage show, and very often the cast will change because they go back to make a movie, and so somebody else comes out and takes over in the cast.
The sort of fixed cast that's on the show here.
No, just the main leads, of course, are fixed. They're set. They've been with the show since the very beginning, which is what now 2.5, 3 years, maybe even 4 years now. And so they still with it, but the rest of the cast they changed because everybody, they all know these songs and these dances, so it's not that hard for them to get into the show.
So when did you go to Bombay?
I didn't actually end up going to Mumbai. I didn't have to because the show was touring in Europe, and I saw it in Berlin, in a stadium in Berlin with about 5,000 people. And then I was traveling to Australia looking at some shows in Australia about 6 months later, and it was touring in Australia. So I saw it a second time then. But by then we'd already more or less decided to do it, and I'd been talking to the producer about it for 5 or 6 months already. We hadn't made the deal, but we were getting closer. And they were a little reluctant at first to come because they wanted more dates, because it's very expensive for them to come over here. And so I introduced them to a friend of mine who was an agent in New York, who found them some dates in the States, so now they have a tour.
It's a combination of Toronto and US.
That's right, yeah. We're the biggest run, and actually we're getting the complete show here. The tour in the States, they're actually cutting it down smaller because they don't have time to set it up, whereas we do have the time, we're doing a longer run, so we get the full show.
I mean, the one of the US will be small, edited version.
It's an edited version, it has less of the scenery, it's altogether smaller. Whereas we get 2 trucks full of scenery, they'll only have 1 truck.
So what is the duration of the show?
It's 2 hours long with an intermission, and it's here in Toronto for 2 weekends only.
And do you look forward to seeing it again?
Absolutely. It's the kind of show that it's, it infects you, you know, it's a kind of infectious kind of thing. And I even love watching the TV set, which is behind you playing the excerpts. No, it's really fun for me. I look forward to seeing it again.
Pradeep was talking about some special discount that we get if you book it with a certain code.
That's right. Now, you know, to be honest, I didn't know about this until Pradeep told us, because of course I'm in program and not in the marketing side. But there is a special code, which gold.
Yeah.
Then what you do is you go on to sonycenter.ca, click through to Merchants of Bollywood, click through to buy tickets, and then there will be a little message will come up that says special offer or password or code. You type that code in, and automatically all the tickets drop in price, and then you can purchase them.
So if you go to Ticketmaster, you can do it there.
You can go directly to Ticketmaster. You can do it through our source.
Discount is the same.
Yeah, in the end, well, the software ends up being the same. Yeah, at the back end, there's 2 ways of going into it.
Not to go into the marketing or the financial part of it, what sort of investment is involved in this show?
For us here in Toronto, or for the show itself?
No, for you and
For us, it's about $1 million. Yeah, $1 million.
And you want to make
We hope to make 1.1 million.
that's like the programming investment. Well, on the marketing side.
We always like to make a bit extra on every show because you never know. Some shows don't work so well, some shows work better, and at the end of the year, you count it all up and hope for broken even. That's the idea.
So wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
You too.
Look forward to many more shows.
We will keep bringing them for sure. Yes, you too. Thank you very much.